Hi guys, in this specific video we're going to look at the concept of trigonometry in combination with what we've looked at, especially concerning the concept of a unit circle. Now this is going to assist us, of course, to interpret the concept of waves and other areas of applications, and some of the units, or rather the units which are going to be used in measuring this specific extension for angles and perhaps circles respectively. So in this case, I've mentioned earlier in one of our videos the concept of radians. So in a sense, if we are having a circle that is, of course, a complete circle, then therefore the various angular extension, we're going to measure them in degrees, of course, given as such. But in some cases, we're going to denote this one using radians or pi radians. So in this case, an equivalent of 2 pi radians is going to be the same as 360 degrees. And if we have a division of those specific radians, then therefore we're going to have them given in various forms of pi. And as we said, one equivalent of 1 radian is equivalent to 57 degrees given as such, but we can as well give radians in terms of degrees, whereby 1 radian is equivalent to pi over 180 degrees. So in any case, if we try to look at the concept of an angle, then therefore we had said that an angle is created from the extension of this specific angular extension, or rather from the stretch between this axis, which is an x along, it can be either along the x towards the positive or the clockwise direction and the anti-clockwise direction. And this, of course, are going to be regarded as the initial side and the terminal side, respectively, for us to understand. So therefore, for a positive angle that I've mentioned, we're going to see that it's created by a counterclockwise rotation from the initial to the terminal side given as such. So we can be able to give angle theta as a positive angle, whereas an extension of the negative side for the clockwise direction is going to be referred to as a negative angle. So basically, if we try to look at this, then therefore, we're going to see that the concept of radians basically is a measure of the same distance that is stretched along this specific arc, which is equivalent to what we refer to as the radius of the circle. Therefore, 1 radian is a unit or a measure that is going to be defined from the angle at the center of the circle that is made when the arc length equal to the radius. So suppose I have a stretch that is extending from this specific point to this one, which is equivalent to the radius of the circle, and that is going to make what we refer to as 1 radian. So we're going to see various variant ways in which we can be able to describe the concept of a radian and the positive and negative angles respectively. So of course, we're going to see that for a circle, we're going to have this specific kind of limits for a unit circle. And in some literature, we're going to come across expressions which are going to encompass the concept of the equation of a circle, which is going to be applicable, especially in collaboration with the trigonometry, in assisting us identify various allocations, especially in the concept under the concept of graphing. So in this sense, mostly this particular point of intersection for the x and y axis of a rectangular coordinate system are going to be regarded as the center, which is going to be given as 0 or O. So in any case, if we move towards the right, then this a positive x direction, to up it's a positive y direction, and the opposite directions are going to be the counter direction from this specific point that I refer to as the origin. So I've talked about the concept of coterminal angles. That's going to be in our later discussion, whereby we're going to use other illustrations, of course, to make that a specific point clear. So an angle in a standard position, then therefore is going to be an angle, and the initial side of angles going to lie along the positive axis given as such. So if you try to look at this, then therefore we're going to see that the coterminal angles are angles drawn in standard position that share this terminal side given as such. So if we say that this is an extension of 40 degrees, and then there's an extension of a negative 320 degrees, all of this is going to make 360 degrees. So the angle of 40 degrees relative to negative 320 degrees are going to be a coterminal angle to negative 320 degrees. So we can be able to regard this angle as a coterminal angle to this, and this angle as a coterminal angle to this, since they share this specific terminal that are referred in this specific case for the initial side and the terminal side respectively. So catch us in our other videos where we're going to look at the concept of trigonometry in an elaborate way, and the concept of unity circles in this specific sense, especially under the concept of graphing So that is it for now, guys. Bye. God bless.